All right, check out the Peacock picks of the week. First, we have The Miniature Wife, a love story with one little problem. Melo's already watched the whole thing. Then, Freddie and friends are here to haunt you and your movie night with 5 nights of Freddy's 2. And you're going to mix up some mint jewels for the Kentucky Derby. Stream all-day coverage Saturday, May 2nd on Peacock, beginning at 12 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's go back to the podium. Nick Nurse addressing the media now.
Nick. Go ahead. Nick, we've talked for 5 games about your defensive rebounding versus their crashing. You held them to 1 offensive rebound in the first half, I think 8 for the game. Just what was different about your guys' defensive rebounding in this game?
I don't know. We just did a better job. I think guys are just doing a better job of, checking out and moving a little quicker towards the long rebounds. I think it's probably that simple. Yeah.
Paul, both offensively and defensively, it seemed like just whenever you guys needed a specific play, he gave it to you, especially that late third quarter stretch. I guess, just how good do you feel like he was for you on both ends on this one?
He was great. I thought, been saying that the whole series, he's been just excellent on defense, right? Like the entire game. Those 2 guys are great wings. And he's got to battle them every possession, and he is battling. I mean, they're scoring, but he's making them really work for it. And I just feel like he's getting more confident. Every game at the office, kind of feels like he can score out there. So it was good to see him. Good to see him. And you're right; those are kind of big scoreboard moving buckets, right? You kind of feel like you need a bucket to kind of settle things down, and he makes a few of those. Yeah.
All right, so if Nick Nurse and the 76ers dominated the Celtics, what did the Knicks do to the Hawks? Decimate?
They won.
No. They didn't just win. No. They didn't just win, Melo. What did they do?
They took souls a day. They were soul searching a day. And they went down to the Hawks arena and snatched their souls out tonight, man. And I'm not saying that, politely, like what the Knicks did tonight. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that politely.
No, what the Knicks did today, I don't think nobody expected that. They came out with that energy. OG came out from the jump.
26 points first half.
Mikal Bridges got up out whatever he was at. And this is a game that the Knicks needed for him to do that. And here we go. Dyson and Mitch, you don't want that problem, but hold up. Hold up.
What happened here, Mel?
Elbow. Try to take his arm off right there.
So now we're fighting.
Now there's words. Now I want to know what Dyson said to Mitch right there. But hey, we'll get back to the game.
Yep, they would both be ejected, by the way. They're gone.
Mikal Bridges.
Doesn't matter.
I'm so glad to see him making shots and getting back to who Mikal Bridges is. And Cat, I think Cat had like 5 points or something like that. He had 10 points, 2 points. I don't know what
Cat had. It was 12 points.
He had 12 points, but guess what? The Knicks won by 50. So if he going to get 12 points and win by 50, I'm sure the Knicks fans are happy about that.
Their largest lead of this game was 61 points. We're trying to put it into words by talking through this statement when largest playoff win in franchise history, largest road win in franchise history, largest halftime lead in NBA playoff history. 14 different players had a field goal. That is an NBA playoff record. It is the 3rd largest point differential in a playoff series in NBA history. Yes.
Where are you from?
I actually from Alpharetta, Georgia. Commonly confused with Atlanta, but it's 30 minutes north of the city. Centennial High School. University of Georgia. You guys ever heard of Athens? Also about an hour and 15 minutes away. What we're going to do is try really hard to just give ourselves some distance. We're going to think about it. But you know what?
Regroup.
We weren't even, Trey was traded this season. We didn't even know we was going to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to us.
Right. And then we made it to a game 6 against the Knicks, pushed them. CJ McCollum had the S on his chest.
So yes, he did.
So more victory.
We're all going to Cancun, and we about to go listen to these coaches right now. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We don't even have to talk about it anymore.
Good job, Maria.
This is, I think, the second, maybe the third time you've kind of mentioned that the Hawks kind of made you guys better, and you kind of hinted at what you mean by it now. I was wondering if you could go explain a little bit more about what you mean. Like, how did they actually make you guys a better team during this series?
Basically, the biggest thing is we had to change our offense. Again, not as drastic as we probably did halfway through the year, but we had to change it because every possession was a grind those first 3 games, especially down the stretch. And so we had to find more ways to put our guys in their strengths while getting to it quickly, while still having options. I'm not where the advantage is quickly throughout the course of the action. And Atlanta forced us to find a way to do that. And we feel pretty good about where we're at right now. But it happened holistically after game 3.
I would give New York credit for them raising their level. There's some things that they did a little differently, and we tried to adjust to. And, sometimes that's difficult regardless of, whatever, scheme, adjustments, those things that you do, you have to execute. And we weren't able to do that. And they were. I thought their physicality was, significant. And we made some mistakes where we had breakdowns and we didn't make shots. They did. It was a perfect storm, so to speak.
Has this brought you all closer, even with the coach knowing this first year with coach, has it brought you all closer this series?
I think for us as a team, we've always been close. We showed that last year. I think that this just shows, it's been up and down, ebbs and flows of a season. It's understandable the fans didn't know what version they would see of us, especially after during this series, we didn't play our best basketball. And for us to make a statement about who we could be when we're playing at, we're clicking on all cylinders. It's great for us to have this kind of tape so that we could look back at it and see when we're playing our best, what are we doing correctly? But like I said, it's about consistency in the playoffs. How many times can we do that in a 7-game series?
You know what's crazy? It's like the story of the Knicks season. Half of the season, you're like, what is happening? And then there's times during the season where you're like, this team's going to the finals.
Yeah.
And we just saw the Knicks over the last 2 games. Mel, you were actually there for game 5, so you could tell me what you've been seeing. They look like the chemistry is there.
Yeah.
Like whatever Mike Brown's doing, it's making sense now. Like what's changed in the series? Why are you laughing, T-Man?
What is he laughing about? He's laughing about the adjustments that the Knicks are saying that they made, which is playing through Karl Anthony Towns, right?
Mr. Triple-double.
That's just something that we've been saying all year long. So for the Knicks to start to play through Cat in this game, that's why T-Mac is laughing right now.
Because he's been calling for it all.
He's been calling for it all season. But hey, the last 2 games, game 5 in New York and in this game 6, Cat has been playing that way. Cat has been a facilitator. Cat has been up on the top of the key, playing out of that delay action. He can pass the ball, so he know how to get guys open. And Mike Brown says something that he don't like to call plays. He like guys to react and go make moves and be smart out there and use your IQ. Well, Cat, if you just moving around, Cat is going to find you, and that's what he's been doing. He was 1 for 4 today, had 1 field goal on a triple-double.
10 for 10 free throws, yep.
And he also, he lead the second triple-double this series. So Cat's been playing well, and I think today Cat was focused on getting everybody involved.
You know what I noticed in that series, the adjustments that they made, they had Cat at the top of the key, and on that same side, they were running some action, right, in the corner and getting those back doors, and Cat was just looking over the defense, making those passes.
Yeah.
Well, Atlanta had made some adjustments to that on how they guarded that and the adjustments that the Knicks made. They ran that same action, but they had somebody pop back to the 3-point line, and that's how they was getting some wide open shots on that. So it was a game of chess. I love the different, situations and the adjustments that was made in that series. Atlanta just didn't have enough.
Yeah. Also in that triple-double, he was 10 for 10 from the free throw line. So that means he was in attack mode. So he only had 4 attempts, 1 made shot. But him being in attack mode forces the help. And like you've said it all the time, both of you. He makes the right play out of double teams or drawing help to get guys shots. And he did that tonight, and they did that often.
New York, watching the game, it seemed like they utilized a lot of Golden State offense tonight. where it was just spaced out, pin downs, make them mess up on the backside, and whoever is open is going to get the ball. And I saw a little bit of that in the New York offense.
And it featured OG in the beginning.
And it features OG because you're not guarding OG coming off of the pin down.
And it was all high above the 3-point line where he's getting open. I mean, he was getting wide open threes off of just pin downs, which you typically don't see for him.
And you guys mentioned it, Mikal Bridges, he had 24 points
welcome back,
in this
Mikal.
game. The previous four, he only had 25 points. That's what the welcome back is for. Melo said it was a crisis, the problem, solution. We found it.
Yes.
It's playing the Atlanta Hawks in Game 6 in Atlanta. Everyone's going to score. Okay? Everyone's getting a bucket. That's just the rule. All right, we're taking a look at our DraftKings early lines for the Pistons and Magic. Ooh, do we agree?
I don't know. I can't go again. They studied that.
I like it.
Okay, well, right now Detroit, 3.5-point road favorite in that game. We will see whether or not the Pistons can pull off a win. We're going to preview our Friday matchups. When we get back, we'll talk about those Pistons. Cade Cunningham and Paolo, they dueled it out in Game 5. Meanwhile, Game 6 drama. Let's get into it.